Am I the asshole for threatening to leave my daughter's wedding because of her rules? My 48 male, daughter's 26 female wedding was yesterday. She moved back to our home state of Utah with her fiancé after living in Boston for college and dental school. She does not seem happy to be back here and said that she only moved back because her husband's 28 male company transferred him here. She knows that in our area, families run large. She is one of 3 kids only because my wife, 47 female, became sick after our youngest, but it is not uncommon to have families of 8. When she started planning her wedding, she started worrying about venue capacity and having to spend money on babysitters. For couples with small kids on her list, she made it clear that she could not accommodate kids 4 or under at this wedding. That caused a lot of ire and we got phone calls asking why. My daughter's rationale was that she thought older kids would enjoy a party more. My daughter's younger sister, Ashley, 24 female, has been married for 2 years and begged her sister to invite her husband's brother and his wife to this wedding too. Ashley's brother-in-law, 41 male, and his wife, 33 female, have 5 kids, 4 of whom are under the age of 4. When they RSVP'd, they indicated they'd only be bringing their 8-year-old daughter. I know Ashley's husband's brother well as he funded my brother's new business and employs Ashley's husband, my son-in-law, in a job that allows Ashley and him to be full-time parents to their kids. However, that side of the family took a while to warm up to Ashley as they are wary to newcomers. So the day of the wedding comes and everybody arrives with the kids they RSVP'd for, and then Ashley's bill arrives early with all 5 of their kids in tow. The nanny they have for their kids is not there. My daughter is angry when she hears of this, and their explanation is that their younger kids were upset and they wanted to be in these wedding pictures too. An argument ensues where my daughter says that they had on-call nannies and just for whatever reason decided this was the event they didn't want to leave their kids for. I look over and Ashley is getting upset and her bill and Syl won't budge. The toddlers are getting anxious and starting to loudly cry, and I finally tell my daughter to just let them in or we'd be here forever. She asked why I was taking their side, and I finally say that she either lifts this child-free policy for family or just cancel the wedding because I was done with her rules and leaving. My daughter says, "Really, Dad? Way to take sides." She then stormed off and there was a minute where she considered walking down the aisle with her future Phil. She ended up relenting but says her wedding is marred by this event. Am I the asshole? I was afraid that this would become this standoff and Ashley would face ire from her in-laws. You are the asshole. She didn't want small children at her wedding. You chose to side against her and try to force the issue. You're in the wrong. And it wasn't even someone she wanted to invite. It was someone who was important to her sister, and apparently to original poster's brother as well. So yes, you chose sides against your daughter whose wedding it was, and who had set down rules that everyone knew, and whose day it was supposed to be. 100% you are the asshole. Phew. I'm glad you were better able to follow the insane chain of relatives original poster gave than I was. TBF, it was hard to care enough about it while I was trying to get to the point of the post. Original poster, you are the asshole, and so is the unwanted guest and their unwanted children. Your daughter did her best to be gracious and allow that family to attend only to be kicked in the teeth by them and you. They and you caused a scene at her wedding. Not her. She was simply trying to hold firm to a reasonable boundary during her wedding and you went full asshole and threw a tantrum like, "I'm going to leave, this wedding is over." You can justify it by saying you were trying to keep peace in someone else's family, but you did it at the cost of the peace in your own family. Of course it was hard to follow. He didn't even give the bride daughter a name. Oh, but he mentions Ashley by name 9 times. Holy shit, you're right. Damn, original poster just gets creepier. You are the asshole. X 10,000 child-free weddings exist for a reason. The children, especially toddlers, get restless and annoying. You decided to side against her on her wedding rules. You wanted to force her to allow kids there. This is not your wedding. Did you read your post? And the guests were her sisters-in-laws, who she begged her sister to invite. They weren't even related to the bride or groom. Right? That's an extra special flavor of entitlement from them. An original poster tried to excuse it as kids of family should be allowed, when they literally aren't the family of the woman getting married. And those kids wanted to be in the pictures? Sit down, all y'all. And if we use the extended in-law standard, all of Utah gets to be invited. Those kids are under 4. They don't know what the fuck wedding photos are. Mom and or dad want them to be in wedding photos. You are the asshole. You clearly have a favorite and it's not the nameless daughter that just got married. Father of the year. Way to ruin your daughter's special day and probably your relationship with her and her side of the family. How do you think all the other people felt when they saw 4 toddlers walking in after being told they couldn't bring their own? Hope kissing Ashley's in-laws family's ass was worth it. That's clearly everything you seem to care about. I don't think he cares about either of them except for show. Nameless daughter and my daughter's younger sister, instead of younger daughter. He's going to be completely shocked and offended when the older daughter goes NC. You are the asshole. I constantly read about unreasonable brides. Your daughter is so accommodating she allowed your other daughters-in-laws to come. The in-laws said they'd bring 1 child but brought 5. Your unnamed daughter, the bride, must be a saint. I understand her hesitancy to return to Utah. It's pretty obvious who the favorite child is, no? My daughter is getting married. My daughter this. My daughter that. Ashley this, Ashley that, Ashley, original poster, you are the asshole. Period. Full stop. Nice catch. I never saw him name the daughter whose wedding day it was. But Ashley. Golden child. Married into a family who is Ops golden goose, too. Interesting that he left out Ashley's husband's age as well, since he listed everyone else's. You are the asshole. And holy Mormon nepotism and entitlement and manipulation. Why the hell does she have to invite in-laws of in-laws? This is one thing so damn messed up about Mormons. Her wedding, her rules. But, no, you have to curry favors for all the freaking Mormon ass grabbing and nepotism. I grew up in a Mormon state and I still shake my head at how incestuous like these business deals are. This 100%. It was worded like, oh, large families are just a normal thing, completely glossing over the cult-like religious overtones these business deals, families, and areas have. You are the asshole original poster and she doesn't seem happy to be back. Oh, I freaking wonder why. You are the asshole and #X200B. As the mother of 12 children, 10 living and 2 in heaven, I wrote out everything I was thinking but realized it was so long no one would read it. So, just the bare bones. Shame on you. In your post mention Ashley 9 times and never once the bride's name. You forced your condemnation onto the bride and force her to invite people she didn't want purely because you kneel to them over money. You never once stood up for your daughter the bride with no name. Not once. Since you've not replied to anyone, I'm confident you did not pay for this wedding, yet you felt you had the right to throw a full-on temper tantrum over your profitable guests being allowed to insult everyone by breaking good manners and bringing 7 instead of the 3 people they RSVP'd. You sir, you ruined your daughter's wedding. Shame on you. Everything sad, bad or hurtful done was done by and because of you. You mentioned your daughter wasn't happy to be back in Utah. Well, why should she be? I don't think it's Utah she dislikes. I believe you've broken that young woman's heart so many times she doesn't wish to be around you anymore. At the risk of getting in trouble, I'm just going to be as church lady blunt as I know how. You have not once defended your daughter. You're called by God and the Church of LDS to be her fortress, her defender, her advocate on earth, and all you've been here is her nemesis. Frankly, you've dishonored your daughter, your new son-in-law, your wife and your God. Shame on you. I'll be praying for you to repent, receive forgiveness and then go on bent knee to ask your daughter for forgiveness. I just weep for the bride with no name. Please accept my standing ovation. You are the asshole. It's so clear you have a favorite daughter, by the way. Ashley is an asshole for begging for an invite for her in-laws, which is incredibly rude. If your daughter had wanted to invite them, then they would have had an invitation in the first place. The in-laws are an asshole for rocking up at a wedding with their entire brood that were not invited in the first place because they wanted to be in wedding pictures. You're the asshole for just letting everyone steamroll your daughter on her wedding day and telling her to just let them in. Then an even bigger asshole for telling her to cancel the wedding. Then at the end of all of this, you are mostly worried about Ashley facing any backlash from her in-laws? If I were your daughter, I wouldn't have let any of you in and walked down the aisle alone. I got a quarter, says Ashley's sister, since original poster didn't see fit to name his daughter the bride. Will have gone NC with original poster within 3 years. 3 years? I say it'll be sooner. The unnamed daughter will have a serious chat with her hubby and get out of Utah at the first chance. You are the asshole just because the Mormon people in Utah refuse to use birth control. Doesn't mean people have to accommodate all their kids at their wedding. You made her invite her sister's husband's brother and they just showed up with SLL of them cause they lied. You were disrespectful and I feel bad for your daughter. She should have stayed in Boston. Sure, she'll go back as soon as she can. You are the asshole as is the family that brought the additional kids. She made this rule clear beforehand. The family RSVP'd for 1 child and hence agreed to just bring that 1 child. They brought all children and broke that rule. You then sided with the people breaking the rules. Greater than you then sided with the people breaking the rules who were not even relatives of the original poster, the bride or the groom. They were the bride's sisters-in-laws. Pretty easy to see which of the original poster's kids is the golden child. The bride doesn't even rate a name in this story, just my daughter, but the whole post is just full to the brim with Ashley, 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 original poster, quit playing favorites and do better. 100% you are the asshole. You really have to ask? You are the asshole even if you paid for 100% of the wedding. 1. The people with the horde of kids aren't the bride's family too. The bride was clear about who was invited, and this didn't include kids under 4-3. It seems like the bride has dropped the Utah ideology when she left Utah. That doesn't make her wrong. 4. You chose to take the side of someone not blood-related, who was also clearly in the wrong, over your own daughter on her wedding day. Seriously? Think his stance was all about the money these people have provided to his family. You are the asshole. Your daughter was clear, she did not want children under 4 years old at the wedding. Your utter disregard and contempt for your daughter on her wedding day is disappointing and inexcusable. You are the asshole. It is her wedding. These people lied to her. I doubt they had any intention of leaving the other kids with a sitter. I don't think your daughter's rule was out of line. You seem to think your daughter owes these people because they funded your brother's business. She doesn't owe them for that or for her husband working for them. These people are entitled, and you went with them over your own daughter. The way I read it, it was Ashley's husband that works for them, not the groom. I also got very confused about who's who. I thought Ashley, the only named daughter, was the bride and only daughter Op mentioned. Since he didn't think the bride deserved a name. My daughter's younger sister, Ashley, 24 female, has been married. Your younger daughter is an entitled asshole without manners. And #X200B. He asked why I was taking their side, and I finally say that she either lifts this child-free policy for family or just cancel the wedding because I was done with her rules and leaving. ... You are an asshole, too, and #X200B. She then stormed off, and there was a minute where she considered walking down the aisle with her future Phil. Quote. ... She should have done that, and kicked you and Ashley and her asshole guests out. And #X200B. You are the asshole. He says his daughter doesn't seem happy having returned. Gee, I wonder why? She's been away from her awful family, working her tail off to finish dental school, and can't even get married without her asshole of father making her wedding all about his younger daughter. I bet her husband is looking into getting a transfer ASAP. Let's see, here. Your daughter requested number 4 or under kids at her wedding, and did so with sufficient notice that folk could respond and make plans accordingly. The sister of the bride's brother and sister-in-law nonetheless showed up with all of their kids, 4 under 4. Your daughter is not the problem. Your daughter's sister's brother and sister-in-law are assuredly the assholes here. As are you. You are the asshole. You diminished one daughter on her wedding day in favor of another's in-laws. Something is very wrong with this picture. You are the asshole. She made a clear, common, reasonable rule for her wedding, went out of her way to invite the family by request, and they broke it. BC some toddlers wanted to be in pictures? Question mark. Why would Ashley's in-laws be in the pictures anyway? I hope the nameless bride told the photographer not to take pictures of any kids. Because original poster and the younger daughter, son-in-law are more concerned with keeping the gravy train flowing. Sil is employed by his brother, and Op's brother got bankrolled by him. Including the brother and his family in the wedding pictures is just one more way to schmooze him. This is it. The guy is a rich jerk who throws his money around and uses it to control him. The bride wasn't having it, and Op may have ruined his relationship with his daughter over it. You are the asshole. And a massive one. Why? Because of your reasoning. First of all, because your younger dogther has a name and the bride did not even get one in your post. Second, the bride without a name did not even get her wishes respected that she wanted a wedding without small children. You, without any hesitating, took Ashley's side about the smaller kids being upset for not being in the pics. And why? May I suspect it's because her new family sponsors your family somehow by sponsoring your brother's business and letting her be a full-time parent? I mean, this is not even about your family, it is about Ashley's family. Why should your daughter who does not deserve a name care about them? And after you tell the bride without a name you were done with her rules and leaving, and thus forcing her to comply, all you worry about is not that the day for the bride was spoiled. No, it's once again about what Ashley's in-law might think about you. I hope your daughter, who obviously is that low on the totem pole that she does not even have a name in your story, finds a good future in her in-laws family. Because, obviously, she does not even have a place in yours except to be the scapegoat. I feel for her. And I hope her husband's company can transfer them somewhere else, where there is no sign of you. So, Ashley begged the bride to invite her BIL and SIL, both of whom have no friendship with the couple getting married, then said guests turn up with 4 more kids, your daughter getting married explicitly excluded from the wedding due to their age, and you start throwing ultimatums about cuz the family helped your brother start a business and the kids wanted to be in the pictures? Know your call, Ashley's call or their call. If I was your daughter, I'd have left and just eloped or kicked you all out. It wasn't your wedding. It wasn't Ashley's wedding or your brother's. You ruined her wedding, cuz you didn't want poor Ashley to face ire from her in-laws? Don't worry though, your daughter you haven't named isn't likely to reach out anytime soon. You are the asshole. Those people are just liars and always intended to bring all those kids. There's no way 4 children under 4 were upset about not being in wedding photos. Icker? But original poster can't have poor Ashley suffering now, can he? You are the asshole. She hadn't budgeted or planned for little kids at her wedding and those jerks rocked up with not 1 but 4 kids they didn't RSVP for? What food are they eating? Where are they sitting? How is everyone else who paid for a goddamn babysitter feeling seeing that kids are actually allowed at the wedding? You are the asshole, and if you were my father I would feel horribly betrayed, hurt. I'm surprised she didn't ask you all to leave. You chose your daughter's husband's brother's children over your own child. You are the asshole. You are the asshole. If I were her, I absolutely would have walked with my future Phil. How horrible of you to choose someone who she originally didn't even want to invite and try to guilt her into doing it. Don't be surprised if you have very little contact with your daughter moving forward. You owe her a major apology, and even then she may very well resent you for a very long time. You were extremely cruel to her on a super important day.